I am going to bet my entire life that you guys have already heard these two quotes. One from Charlie Morgan: we don't reach our goals, we become the type of person who can reach the goal. Secondly, I don't know who said it, maybe Steve Bartlett. I remember him saying it, but it's like, we do not rise to the level of our goals, we fall to the levels of our systems. Even though even though these quotes are really great and they are true and blah blah blah, have you reached your goal? No. That's why you're watching this video. And that's why I'm going to teach you today the exact concept which I call proximity fusion, which is going to allow you to finally reach your goal because it's finally going to be tangible, an easy step-by-step process that you can take and go through to reach your goals. So let's talk about exactly what is this proximity fusion. Because look, because the problem that comes up when you're talking about, oh, Robert, I just want to reach my goal. Like, yeah, just go at it, reach it, like, do it. And you're like, okay, but how? What to do? Exactly what needs to do? Exactly what needs to be done? Like, what is it? And yeah, that's why I'm saying this is hard. It's intangible. This is not how you have to go at it when you want to reach your goal. And as mentioned, like Charlie Morgan talks about, like, yeah, you have to be here. This is your current situation. This is your desired outcome. This is current situation. This is desired outcome. And if you want to reach your goal, you have to become this type of person. But you're like, then, okay, Charlie Morgan, but how? How do I do it? Like, how? And that's why I've created this proximity fusion, because I realized I've been doing this for a time and I never even realized how great or how big of an impact this has on my entire life. So let's talk about it exactly, what this proximity fusion is and how it allows you to go from your current situation, which you don't want to be in because you don't have your goals, but to your desired outcome. So the proximity fusion has one simple principle behind it, one simple laying principle, and is this: it's cause and effect. That's the thing which is behind proximity fusion. Now, what I mean by that is that we both know, guys, that you must go from point A to point B, and the only way to go is cause and effect, because every single thing you do has an effect. So, if you want to reach your goals, you have to put those causes into effect, which is going to create your desired outcome, your goal, basically the effect you actually want. So, if right now you want to make $10,000 a month, get your first client, or even get your first coaching client, whatever it is, you have to put those causes down there, which is going to create and get your effect. Now, exactly how to do that? Well, this is what you're going to talk about: proximity fusion. If you're here at your current situation, if you want to get to your desired outcome, there are two steps you need to do. Very simple. One is action, and the other is information. Now, what does that actually mean? Well, if you want to change something, you need to take action and you need to consume information in order to take the best action possible. Because as I mentioned, cause needs to happen in order to effect to become reality. And how cause happens is by you taking action. And how are you going to get the right effect? If you consume the right information, meaning you know what to take, what to do in order to get to your desired outcome. So these two steps are what you actually need to get to your desired outcome. But there's just one thing that's missing that no one is actually talking about. Because maybe you have already, made this up and you realize this when you were watching Charlie Morgan or Stephen Bartlett or whoever it is. But there is just one thing no one actually talks about. And this is what we come down to. And it's this: decision. And like, you're like, what do you mean? What do you mean by decision, Robert? Like, think about it. If you're this type of person right now, and you know that you have to take action and you have to take in information to get to here. But if you're this type of person, you're going to make the decision which is going to make you, or basically force you, to stay in the same circle. So the reason you haven't reached your goal isn't because you didn't take the right action or you didn't consume the right information. is because you don't know how to make the right decision. Because who you are right now was the decision of yourself, and the reason you haven't reached your desired outcome is the lack of making the right decision. So that's why the secret to getting to your desired outcome is making the right decisions. And this is what I call proximity fusion. So let me explain exactly how this works. So think about these two people right here, just these two people. How can you actually get to this person? Well, you start on a trajectory. Yeah, and something happens, and there is now two ways where you can go. Okay, no problem. Let's say you take this route, and then there's another two ways, or let's say three ways. Like, okay, you again take this route. It's like bang, this one, this one, this one. And you again take this route. And it's like you completely go away from who you want to be because you're making the wrong decision. So every point where there is different outcomes or different places to go, you're making a decision. And because right now who you are as a person, you cannot get here, you're making the wrong decisions. So that's why you need to fuse into yourself this type of person. And what I mean exactly by that is that if you want to reach your goal, you have to take those decisions which is going to get you to the closer to this goal as possible. So what I mean by that is you have to define what this person is and how this person lives their life and what kind of decisions he makes. And if you all the time decide from the perspective of who this other person is, eventually you're going to get there. Because if all the decisions are completely aligned with the other person, then you're going to become the other person because of your decisions. So that's why, even though you know that you need to take action and you need information, because you made the wrong decisions, you couldn't really get there. So that's why we're going to use the proximity fusion. And how that goes is this. Firstly, you understand the principles. Now, what I mean by that is, just as an example, you have your dream outcome, your goal in your mind. Write it down. You have, let's say, a house, you have this much money, and blah, blah, blah. You have to realize that this person makes their decisions about some principles. Because all of us right now make decisions based on some principles. So that means that this person's principles are better than yours. If you have understood what kind of principles that be, let's just state from examples. Like, for example, long-term thinking. This is a potential principle this person abides by. Or another one can be, 1 second, guys. Second order consequences. Or another one can be no or delayed gratification. So if you know what your desired outcome, meaning the person you want to become, how he makes the decisions, you can utilize it for yourself that day. And what it allows you to do is finally get the results you actually want to get. Because you know how this person got it, so now you can simply recreate it. Okay, so that's the first step. You have to understand the principles. The next step is going to be you taking decisions. Because what happens here is that you must make the decision. And whenever you're making a decision, you're going to think about this. If my desired outcome, if I would be the person want to be, how would I decide? So understand, if you would be the type of person or the person who actually you want to be, like the goal, where you want to go, if you would be that person, how would you decide about a decision? Let's say it's 9 p.m. or 9 a.m. in a Tuesday morning. You're like sitting, should I work? Should I not work? But you realize that, okay, this is a decision. Then this comes back to the type of person you want to be. So you understand the principle of what that person abides by, and you make the decision by those principles. So you become the type of person because you decide, if I would be that type of person, I would work right now. Okay? You start to work. You start working. That's all. So you understood who you are, like who you want to be, and you make the decisions that is going to get you there. And now, thirdly, this is what we call a time cycle. Because this is not just a 1 day thing, a 2 day thing, or something like that. What you're going to do is you're going to test and practice implementing these principles until you're going to get there. Now, what I mean by that is usually you lay out 5 to 10 principles you want to abide by. You make the decisions by those principles, and let's say until a 30-day period, you just use those. And it's going to be a habit. You're going to form a habit. And when you form the habit, you don't have to think about this again because it's going to be a habit. Then you're going to put up 5 to 10 new principles, again, make the decisions. That way, again, do it for 30 to 60 days. And what that is going to allow you to do is implement those principles that your dream outcome lives by so you finally can become that person. Because it's not about taking the right action or consuming the right information, it's about making the right decisions. And this is exactly how you can finally reach your goals and literally dominate 2025, guys. Thank you so much. I will meet you next time.